In this video, I'm going to explain why 99% uptime is not the reassurance people think it is. Not because uptime is irrelevant, but because the way it's measured often hides the exact failures users feel first. Most teams see a percentage and assume it represents reliability, but uptime percentage is a summary, and summaries are good at making bad situations look tidy. So let's break this down properly. When someone says 99% uptime, they're describing the allowed error budget across a time window, usually a month or a year. On screen, think of uptime as time allowed to fail, not in theory, but in minutes. If we take a 30-day month, that's 43,200 minutes. 0.1% of that is roughly 43 minutes. So 99% uptime doesn't mean almost never down. It means you can be unavailable for around 40 minutes per month and still wear the badge. And now the question becomes more important. What kind of downtime is being counted, and what kind is actually being ignored? Most uptime reporting is based on simple availability checks. A request is sent, a response comes back, that result is counted. But a passing response is not the same as a usable service. A check can succeed while users fail. For example, if your homepage loads but login is broken, your API replies but it's returning incorrect data, your checkout returns a status code but transactions are failing behind the scenes. From the perspective of a basic uptime metric, you're up. From the perspective of a customer, you're effectively down. This is the reason 99.9% misleads people. It measures reachability, not outcome. The second problem is averaging. Uptime is usually aggregated across time, sometimes across regions, and sometimes across endpoints. And when you average enough signals together, you can hide real failure inside the mean. On screen, imagine this scenario. Most of the day is stable, then for 10 minutes, performance collapses during peak traffic, then it recovers. In the monthly number, that looks minor, but operationally, that can be the most expensive 10 minutes of the month. So the issue is not just how much downtime, it's when it happens and what it affects. Now let's talk about something even more subtle. A percentage implies uniform experience, but user experience is not uniform. If one region is intermittently failing because of routing, CDN behavior, or firewall policy, a global uptime percentage can still look fine, because the service is up somewhere, but your users are not distributed evenly, and a failure that only affects one geography can still be a serious incident. This is why high uptime numbers can coexist with customer complaints. The metric is not lying, it's just answering a narrower question than people assume. Now I want to be clear, uptime is not useless, it's just incomplete. Uptime is a baseline signal. It tells you whether a system responds. It does not tell you whether the system is working correctly end to end. So if you want reliability that maps to reality, you need to stop treating uptime percentages as the goal. Instead, treat it as one indicator of a larger model. That model usually includes validation that checks the right outcome, not just a response, monitoring that reflects user geography, not convenience geography, and alerting that is aligned with business impact, not just technical thresholds. So here's a clean mental model to carry forward. Uptime percentage is a summary of reachability over a time window. It can look healthy while users are failing. It can hide peak time incidents inside an average, and it can ignore regional or functional failures that matter most. If you want real reliability, don't ask, what's our uptime number? Ask, what failures can our monitoring actually see and what failures are being averaged away? Because the goal isn't a pretty percentage. The goal is a service that remains usable when it matters.